So, Alice Roberts, why are you a secular humanist?
I'm a secular humanist, I suppose, because I see that as being a very positive thing, and my worldview isn't just about an absence of God. It's about a belief in humanity and the goodness of humanity, and the fact that morals and ethics come from within us. They don't come from outside us. They're not given to us by religion. Religion has codified morals and ethics, and some religious people would say that you can't have morals and ethics without religion. Well, I don't believe that at all. I think that religion has taken that and tried to make it its own. But no, I think that comes from inside us.
Yeah. And you've been quite active in the British Humanist Association, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think it's important to, not only be a secular humanist, but actually being an activist in a sense?
Yeah, I think there are different dimensions to it. So some of it is about making sure that science is properly taught in schools, and we have just got to the point now where evolution is in the primary school curriculum, which I'm absolutely delighted about, and that came about a lot. A lot of the reason behind that was because of the work done by the British Humanist Association. And so that's absolutely brilliant, and I think it removes that kind of doubt around, is evolution actually part of biology, or is it just a kind of a bolt-on? Well, no, it's a fundamental theory in the true sense of the word in biology, that you actually need evolution in there to understand biology. So let's put it in the primary school curriculum. So that kind of thing, I think, is important in state schools. There are also a number of schools in the UK that are private schools that are very creationist and have an extremely religious curriculum, and even their own set of exams. And that actually, what they're teaching children, it goes beyond saying that evolution is wrong and the world was created in a very short time. It also extends to things like saying that homosexuality is a sin and that abortion is a sin. So there are all of those things which I think are quite, extremely threatening to human rights as well. So I'm interested in combating that as well.
But your professor colleague, Richard Dawkins, he refuses to take debates with creationists. How do you deal? Do you take debates with creationists?
I haven't done a live debate with a creationist, and I think those kind of events can be tricky because you are never quite sure how the debate is going to be managed. I suppose I should actually be more open to doing that. I have engaged in debate on social media platforms like Twitter.
Because Dawkins, I think he refuses because he doesn't want to give them any space, any room. So that's another strategy. I don't know which is the best strategy, actually. I don't know for myself.
Yeah.
I take debates with creationists. But
it's tricky, isn't it? I think from somebody with Richard Dawkins' stature, it is interesting, because if he were to debate a creationist, then I think there's an argument that the creationist would benefit more from that than he would, because his name is going to draw more people in, and people might even think that he's somehow, I don't know, that he's supporting the idea of the debate by allowing it to happen. I don't know.
Okay. If you look at the international secular humanist movement in the whole world, which are the most important issues for us to take on, do you think, as a movement?
I think there are a huge range of issues, but the ones that have to be the most important are the ones that are about human rights, surely, and individual liberty. So any issues around people wanting to take control of women's bodies. Women should be able to make up their own minds about what they do with their bodies. Stopping women from having abortions, for instance, is horrendous. And sexuality. Individuals can make up their own minds about sexuality. It's not for anybody else to tell them what to think and how to feel, and that. So I think that humanist movements across the world are really important in protecting kind of quite fundamental human rights, actually.
Are you an optimist? Do you think secular humanism will sort of win in the end?
I don't know. Isn't it weird? It's very difficult to know whether it's going to go through a cycle. I don't know. whether we'll see a kind of upsurge of religious feeling. It feels as though at the moment secularism is sort of rippling out and spreading out, especially through British society. I know that the Church of England is very worried about the number of people who aren't going to church. So, you know, that gives me grounds for optimism. But I think that, on the other hand, perhaps religions become more aggressive about trying to convert people, more evangelical, and, you know, there could be a situation where actually it sort of turns the other way again. And I think that, you know, it's tricky, isn't it? Because I am not so, I suppose I'm not so hardline about it as Richard Dawkins, in that I would never tell somebody what to believe. If somebody wants to believe in God, that's entirely up to them. I have an issue with religion when it comes into direct conflict with science, and that really happens when you have a sort of dogmatic reading of scriptures, and people are sticking to the letter of some text that was written by committee probably thousands of years ago, and they're treating that as a real representation of what actually happened. Whereas, you know, we are looking at modern science and saying, well, you know, how did the world come to be, and have we got a better handle on this now than people did in the Bronze Age? And I happen to think that we do have. So I think for me the big clash, is when you've got fundamentalism and when you've got that real kind of adherence to scripture and text. Beyond that, if religious organisations are not impinging on human rights, then I'm prepared to say live and let live that way as well. That's that's up to people to decide.
Freedom of religion, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dennis Roberts.